Okay. Right. Doing something, eh? Hey, right. Let's try this now.
It's not coming. Ah, there we go. Oh. It's a bit behind, but
it's working.
See?
There we go. Fantastic. I'm not going to turn it off now. I've got it on. There we go. Fantastic. Just figured out how to use a green screen, and I feel pretty spectacular. It's taken me some time, but I got there in the end. Let's have a look up here. Let's get that in. Mr. Richard Hill. Who else we got? Big Mig, who is not actually called Mig, which is good to know. Yeah, so it's just taken me about 45 minutes to get this working. Fucking green screen. Oh, I feel pimping. And I've also figured out how to turn my camera around, so that's good. I'm hoping you can you hear me? Everybody can hear me and see. You see the beer background and all of that good shit, I hope. Hey dude. I think I'm a bit behind on the streaming process because my internet is shit here. However, I'm ready to go. Got my Python as voted by the people, and my beer me mug ready to rock and or roll, which is nice, which is very nice. So that's good. Fucking the internet drives me insane sometimes. I don't know how you're supposed to understand what's going on, you know. It's a little bit shit, but we got there in the end. Can I move this across so you're not sat right there? Because that'd be nice. No, can't move that. Fuck that. Sound and vision all working correctly. Well, not mine. That's why I have to wear glasses. So, unlike anybody who's joined us before in a live stream, I will not be going 7 beers deep. That's too deep even for a Friday, and I keep getting told every time I do social media I come downstairs pissed. So tonight I'm just gonna go for one, just one. However, that one is Python, which is a 12.6% imperial stout, but we'll go into a bit more detail on that down the line. Really, it's from Tartarus Beers. And I'll go through them in a bit as well. But I'm excited. It's been sat in my cupboard for some time now. Get the gas out before I get the Imperial Stout in. And yeah, it's going to be pretty devilish. This beer is vegan. All the beers that you'll ever see me drinking are vegan. So that's pretty cool, really, because I like being vegan. I don't want to lose my vegan powers. So that's good. That's very good, very good. Give us a thumbs up if you like my green screen. I mean, it was... The only issue is that my beard shines through it. I've got this, like, green glow in my beard, which is weird. But nevertheless, I feel like a 1990s kid show host, but with more beer. Yeah. Anyway, so let's crack this bad boy open and see what comes tumbling out, shall we? I put up a post earlier on to see who might want to give me some opinions on what would be the right thing out of the 3 beers to drink. I had like a Tonka beer, which is like a barley wine, still once again 12.5%, so nothing small. I had like a red ale, which was going to be pretty teeth strippery, but nevertheless, I didn't do that. Everybody voted for this one. There's a lot of Tortoise going around. I don't know if that's how you say it. Tortoise. But yeah, cool. 3 minutes to 7. I feel like that's about time that I cracked the beer. Let's give it a go. You know I love giving it. Ooh, very little gas, which is to be expected. It's spilt black death all over my hand. Smells very strong. On my stag do, which happened earlier this year, I had a Tortoise coffee and vanilla imperial stout, and it wiped a lot of people out. They just wasn't convinced by it. That smells delicious. And the thing is with an imperial stout is it's brewed longer. It's normally got more hops in, which means you get a really intense profile. And that's why it's imperial. Plus, it also cranks up the strength, which is fun. Holy shit, that's strong. Okay, here we go. Pour out a can of this Black Death. Look how much gas there is. None. Not a fucking drop. It's just like a pint of Bovril. Classic bit of chunky sediment at the end, I'm hoping. Yes. Yes. That genuinely looks like the stuff that tries to take over Tom Hardy in Venom. It's weird because it's got a really punchy smell to it. However, there's this then like slight undertone of sweetness. I should really explain what it is. It is a salted caramel brownie. Any of you know me will know that I fucking love this sweet shit. And I also really quite like it when that sweet shit is contradicted by massively malty flavours, hoppy, darkness. So I'm looking for sweet and bitter, you know. That's kind of how my marriage is. I'm the sweet part, she's the bitter part. Worked perfectly. Cool. So moving swiftly on. Let's give it a sipple and see what happens. Oh my gosh. That's aggressive. First things first, big shout to everyone who voted for this. And I don't know if you voted for it because you wanted me to drink something that was intensely flavoured, because that is very much intensely flavoured. I swear it's taking the silver off my wedding ring. Let's give it another sipple, because that was just one. My God, that's going to put hairs on your chest. That is absolutely crazy. It is a lactose-free pastry stout with notes of chocolate, coffee. There's like some saltiness by this caramel note that goes on in there. Yeah, it is. It is good. It is good. It has both the sweet and the salty element. There's lots of wonderful things to kind of note about Tortoise beers. They have been running since 2020. Predominantly 3 guys that did it all. So you've got, what is it? I think it's Jack. Jack does a lot of the work there. I think he's the head brewer. And then you've got, who else other than Jack? He's got a sexy beard, by the way. I mean, I don't know if he's ever going to see this, but it is a damn sexy beard. Then you've got Jamie. She does all the businessy side of things, getting the sales out there. And then who else? Sam. He does all the digital designs. They're fun too. I appreciate the digital stuff. And you can see from the artwork, they're all based on mythical creatures. They're based in Leeds. In fact, one of their first ever brews was a imperial stout. And it was a Russian imperial stout, and it was like 17% or some shit like that, which at the time made it one of the highest strength imperial stouts that you could buy in this country. And here we are on a 12.6, just breezing over it like it's nothing. Has anybody else ever tried this? If you have, drop me a message. I'd love to know what you think. It's insane. It's like sweet. I can already feel it bubbling around in me tum-tum. Predominantly probably lining up for a good poo, as I find most imperial stouts. You didn't need to know that, really. But most imperial stouts do. They often get me tummy a little bit active, ready to rock and roll. For a microbrewery, Tortoise is doing really amazing things. And because they're not doing madly huge batches of stuff, they get to really apply that craftsmanship and just get something really special. They're really unique with their flavours. I've tried many of their beers. Some of that are noted. There's a 14% like white raspberry chocolate cake stout thing. That's pretty like, fuck me. Very strong. Which one did I have? Is it Tisiphone? It's like another 12% of imperial stout that just is like a kick to the face. Delicious, don't get me wrong, it's bloody delicious. But I made the mistake of, I was stuck on a boat. I say stuck on a boat. I was chosen to go on a boat for my stag do. And there's like 9 guys floating about in a ship. And I had the Tissaphone for breakfast, thinking, it's got coffee in it. What a perfect beer. Yeah, a 12% imperial stout for breakfast with 9 other dudes on a boat after curry just left me in a terrible position. However, I enjoyed it very much, which is why I picked up a salted brownie imperial stout. Hello to everybody who has joined. Thank you ever so much for joining me. If you haven't guessed, time after time I've tried to improve my live streams. You know, sometimes I get shit-faced, sometimes I don't. Recently, every time I've done one, I have gone downstairs and kind of wobbled into the wife, and she's gone, I think you're drunk. And I respond with, I think you're drunk. And so I can't do the epic hour-long pissed up drinking beer. Maybe when she's away. Sounds about right, eh? Or maybe I'll go round Rich's house and do it there, and then she'll never know, other than the fact that it's a live stream. So, this Python, super heavy hitting, really isn't a soft. I mean, never has an imperial stout been a session beer. It's very much a treat. It's one of those things that I would probably crack out for Christmas, or a birthday, a wedding, any other social event where you'd like to have one big toast, huzzah, and then not drink 8 of them. I haven't found personally, I haven't found a Tortoise beer that I could just plough through constantly, just because their profiles are so immense. This particular beer comes in at 4.2 out of 5 on Untapped, and that's out of like 700 reviews, so that's a fair amount of people reviewing it and a fair amount of people saying it ain't bad, so I can't really complain. If you use Untapped, please drop your message down below so I can see who you are. I use it, but not enough. I know people that live on Untapped to get those points. I just occasionally do it because fuck it, trends and shit, eh? Okay, what else can I tell you about the Tortoise? They basically, cutting a long story short, they've got some fairly innovative flavours. They like to push the boundaries of what beer should really do. The cans are always pretty eye-catching, so big up to Sam for that one, because it's always the can that gets me. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Obviously, I like it because it's an imperial stout, and I'm a massive fan of stouts. Yesterday, I drank Brewgooder's stout with a collaboration with Polly's. It was delicious. There was nothing like earth-shattering about it, but it was good nevertheless. God, fucking hell. Yeah, it's strong. It's definitely strong. You can't avoid the strength. But it is sweet. It's got that smokiness. You can definitely tell it's doubled up on the malt and the hops, and it kind of definitely gives off that kind of background coffee flavour, even though it's a brownie and chocolate brownie, salted caramel brownie thing. Most Imperials will have that kind of coffee background for me, that kind of smoky roasted vibe, and this bad boy is no exception to that rule. It is delicious, to say the least, but it's a heavy hitter. I don't know what else I can say about it. You know how sometimes you can get a nice session NEPA, deeper, IPA, whatever, and you chuck it back and it's gone, and big belch, everything's hunky-dory. You can't do that with this. I just have to have little sips. Anything bigger than that, I'm screwed. I'm just fucked. The mouthfeel on it is really creamy. It's I always find with imperial stouts at a high enough level, I get that kind of, you know, when you drink scotch, that kind of moment. No, it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a bit of a culture shock, considering I've drunk nothing other than Monster and Pepsi today. So yeah, I often find with imperial stouts, it all gets a bit like, and you couldn't rush this. If I was to sit downstairs and have dinner, it would probably be there throughout dinner, out the other end of, you know, pudding, and probably finish it off before I go to bed. I do not want to rush this beer for two reasons. One, it's delicious and I'll be sad when it's gone. And two, if I rush it, I'll get shit-faced. Sucks, doesn't it? When I was a nipper, a young lad, I didn't drink much. In fact, I barely drank at all. It was not for me. It didn't sit well. And now I'm slightly older, I kind of enjoy it more. And then I get shit-faced, and then I just feel bad to it. I'm one of those, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I went to Duration last week, maybe the week before, for Oktoberfest. And they got me good. Those fuckers got me good. Because they were very much like, if you try our 10 lines, various degrees of beers and stouts and whatever, you get to spin a magic wheel, and that magic wheel has prizes on it, and one of the prizes was win more beer. So obviously you're like, right, I'll drink the 10 beers, spin the wheel, I've won a beer. So by that point you've got the 11th pint for free, and being honest, you don't fucking need the 11th pint, free or not, you just don't need it. Then you had to buy one to take back on the bus, and before you know it, you were shit-faced. And good times though, great times. In fact, I've got one of their beers to post up shortly, because it was a very nice beer. There's like a salted caramel vibe is strong. I can't deny it. It is pretty hardcore, and I love it. So I'm just going to keep drinking this, really. Have you tried any Tortoise or Tataraus? If you have, tell me which one you like. I'll give it a shot next, as long as it's vegan. You can't see here, but this beer is vegan, because I want to let it focus. Will it focus? Just up here somewhere. Yeah, this beer is vegan, so it's got to be vegan. If it's not vegan, I ain't fucking drinking it. I've got to keep holding my vegan powers. It's important to me. Save the animals. Drink beer that doesn't contain lactose. It's weird actually with Tortoise, because they do a is it Riara or Ray Ray or something like that, based on another mythical bitch motherfucker, and it's like a coconut and raspberry. It's all fruity, and it smelt very nice. But it, hi Toby, hi, thanks for joining us. However, contains lactose. Put your head to that. So a salted brownie stout contains no lactose, but a coconut fruity one does. It was a sour. I don't know why you would need to put milk in a sour. Not milk, lactose, I stand corrected. Fucking ridiculous, isn't it? I was like, oh, no. I ended up going for something called Tropical Shot by Dougie's. I've done a few Dougie's now, and in fact today, instead of doing Python, I almost put in the Dougie's Mega Stout. So this is 12.6, that's 16%. It was very much a beer that I wasn't 100% sure I wanted to put on a live stream, because I think it might get me shit-faced in about 4.5 seconds. But anyway, so the Dougie's, look them up, they're quite good. And vegan. Love a vegan beer. I mean, being honest, just taking a double swig on that thing is pretty hardcore. It's a definite sipper. I know this is probably going to make me look like a bit of a wuss, a bit lame, but I'm just being honest. That's what I do. I keep it real and keep it honest. For a brewer that has been running since 2020, which by the way is 4 years ago, they've made a name for themselves. They've really carved out a style. They make very innovative beers, very crazy flavour profiles, very European beer heavy, and it's based in Leeds. My theory is any man with a beard who creates beer and has been for 5 years is okay. They're all right. And if you haven't got a beard, get a beard. I'd really like. They've got one called King Arthur, actually, which is a barley wine, and I've had a couple of barley wines now, and I genuinely appreciate them. So, yeah, have a barley wine if you've not tried a barley wine. Try a barley wine. It's very good, very good. It's definitely thicker and creamier in the gob. For something that doesn't contain lactose, it feels like it should. It's got that kind of spicy Frigi vibe, or what's the other one? What's the other milkshake that everybody used to go nuts for in a bottle as a kid? Yop. It's got that kind of thickness to it, which I appreciate. But it does sit quite heavy. Hi, Keisha. Thanks ever so much for joining us. I'm just drinking a beer here. This is Tortoise by Python by Tortoise. It's very good. It's very good. Not to be trifled with. Do not fuck with the Python. It will bite back. I like it. I do feel, though, anything more than 440 mils is too much. I think if you found it on tap, and bear in mind the tap room at Tortoise in Leeds has everything on tap, I feel like a pint of it is probably too far. I feel like 350 of it would be too small. 440, spot on. That's the perfect amount. Yes, it didn't fill my awesome glass. Am I bothered by that? Fuck no. Not at all. Not bothered in the slightest. Because anything more than that would have been a total waste on me. As simple as. All Day Brewing, thank you ever so much for joining us. Anybody who's joined us, actually, thank you ever so much for joining us. I'd love to do these kind of sessions where I actually sit and talk to somebody, but nobody ever asks. And then I'm sad. Sad and all alone. But anyway, so la vie. Beer's almost done, dinner's almost ready, so that, I suppose, is the live review of that. If you have any beers that you really enjoy and you think, you know what, I think that Beer Me Butt Head should definitely try this beer, sling me a fucking message. I'd love to hear about it. Alternatively, if you want to just chat shit about a beer and we'll get the same beer and we'll chat shit about that beer, once again, drop me a message. I'd love to talk about it. If you are in the Norwich area at any point towards the end of October, they have a charity beer drive going on where a large collection of tasting beers has basically been found and they're going to be sold to raise money for charity. Two great things. Beer, charity. That's going to be happening in Norwich Castle Mall, also known as the Dirt Mall. If you've lived in Norwich for a long enough period of time, you know that it's called the Dirt Mall because it's dirty. Not the food court where they're holding the event. That's upstairs. That's classy as fuck. But essentially, the rest of the mall is a pile of shit. Get yourself down to that. Cheryl, the beer sommelier, will be there as well. If you like beer, if you like cheese, she's a woman to know. Very powerful in the world of beer and cheese. However, as a vegan, we lack the cheese resemblance. I can't eat cheese. I can eat cheese, but it's vegan cheese, and that means it's bullshit. So yeah, get down there, check it out. I think it's like the 29th of October through to something else. And they're doing some really cool things. It's like, if it's 5%, it costs £5. If it's 12%, it costs £12. That to me is some drunk logic, and I can get down with that. This would be £12.50 a can, and I'd pay it. I think that was about £8 a can from Sir Toby Beers in Norwich Market. Whilst we're here, does anybody have any really good recommendations on places that I can buy interesting beer online? I've got a box of Seven Brothers up there that needs to be moved to the fridge. I think the next beer that I might do here is their recycled cornflakes beer. Genius. Got a couple of Duration to go through. Either way, lots of beers still yet to come. I can't charge through them because I'd become an alcoholic. If you've got alcohol problems, feel free to drop me a message and I shall send you some resources and links to help you out with that. Maybe. My mother was a great alcoholic. I'm just saying. If I didn't say it enough before, this is beautiful. Tortoise make amazing beer. Go check them out. If you're passing a beer shop or you're going anywhere that sells kind of crafty beer and they happen to sell Tartarus, hit it straight the fuck up. Buy anything by them. It's going to be good. New brewers, more time and effort put into it because they're not trying to produce thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So you get craft and you get love behind each can. Although this can taste a little bit like hate, but in a good way, you know? Yeah, I do want to drink more of this. It's crazy, isn't it? So, here's to Jack, the 5-year strong head brewer at Tartarus. Here is to... Jordan, who does all the selling. It's probably Jordan's doing that it ended up in my neck of the woods, because I'm not from Leeds. And here's to Sam for making some crazy artwork. To the guys at Tartarus, congratulations. You've made another great beer. I'm very pleased. I've got the new Verdant Duration collab in my fridge right now. So Verdant Duration. Is it Lizard? Is it the Lizard in the fridge right now? Tell me, man. Tell me. I'm pretty sure I drank a pint of that at the Oktoberfest. Is it called the Lizard? It was nice though. I remember scoring it high. We'll see. Waiting for a return on that statement. I don't know if he's going to let me know. I mean, if you've got it in your fridge, yes, it was. Wasn't it a great beer? You must have tried it then. It was a great beer. I think I've got an ebb and flow in my fridge, so I might finish this and crack that one after that. But yes, enjoy the Lizard, my friend, because it is a great beer. If you haven't checked out Duration Beer, based in Westacre in Norfolk, go check them out as well. It's Lizard. Good times. Ooh, I can hear the air fryer going off, so that's probably my cue to leave. Thank you ever so much for joining me. And like I said, if you have any beers that you want me to try, drop me a message. I'd be happy to try and track it down and smash them back. As for Python by Tartarus, it is done. Boom. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I'm going to let you crack on with your evenings. And yeah, cheers for joining us. End live stream. Cheers, bud. Peace.